Well, it's getting to be afternoon here, so sun's shining here, but I wanted to show you we got a couple things going that I'm kind of excited about. Let's unplug our little electrolysis tank here and see what we've got for pieces. There's the first one. Let me go and rinse this off, and then we'll pull the other one out. Well, here's our first handle out. Looks really good. I'm really pleased with that. And this has been in for, it's about 3:30 now, so it's only been in for, what, 3 hours? And that looks really good. I'm going to dry this off and oil it up. Now I may go back in and do a little bit more and try and get the rest of that cleaned up. But for right now I want to play with the planer a little bit. So let me wipe this off and get the wire off of it and pull the other one out. Let's take a look at it. Now when I originally did these, I said I didn't think it was going to take, there was a whole lot of rust on any of it, and I still believe that to be true. This is in really good shape. So I think these smaller parts are going to take minimal cleanup just like this. And some of the bigger parts will maybe set up a bigger tank. We may do some other stuff with them. Anyway, there's our crank handle. That looks really good for about 3 hours. See what our adjustment knob looks like here. Oh yeah, let me take it over and rinse it off. I think we're going to be just as pleased with it. Okay, there again. Really happy with this. That, you know, it'll take a little more cleanup. Looks like we've got a little bit of brown still down in there, although that for the most part wipes off. Now that, the majority of the rust is gone off of there after 3 hours. What we're seeing is a little bit of the original bluing or black oxide they put on it, whatever finish was originally on it. But the rust is virtually gone off of that. That looks really good. Okay, let me oil these parts up so we don't immediately rust again. And I want to reset the camera because we're going to play with the planer a little bit. Alright, well, we saw the phase converter yesterday. We've done some more hodgepodge wiring to it. We got everything that's got to be cleaned up, and this will all get redone. But I'm anxious to get this planer running or see if it's going to run. So the way I've got it set up is we've got a momentary start switch that will activate our start capacitors. Now I still don't have any run capacitors on here, so we're not balanced and we're not going to run anything very long because we don't want to overheat anything or take a possibility of damaging something. So we've got a momentary start on our start capacitors. It will lock in and start our 7.5 horsepower motor, which will lock in this first contactor. Now I've got it set up through this switch, and this is not right because we're in our 7.5 mode right here instead of start. Once that comes up to speed to run this planer, we flip it over to the 15 horsepower setting. It'll kick in that second motor and lock it in, and then we've got power, three-phase power over to our planer. So that's the way that works. We've got grounds and everything on here, so we're relatively safe. But there again, this is at your own risk type thing, so be aware of what you're doing when you start playing with this. But we do have this part of it running, and I can demonstrate that here in a minute. Then we're going to go over to the planer. Now I've oiled the Gitz oilers. I've added oil to the motor bearings. We've got everything lubed up a little bit. We haven't exceptionally cleaned up a whole lot of stuff, but we do have it to where I think we're functional. So we're going to find out. This is the first time we're going to put power to it, and we'll see if we can get a little bit of movement out of it. So anyway, let's fire up this phase converter. I'm not going to do any voiceovers. This is just going to, or we may do a little voiceover later on. This is just a operate to run. The phase converter howls with the bearings that are in it. The planer, I don't know. I'm sure it's going to make a fair amount of noise. So we're just going to let stuff run and enjoy the show. Hopefully nothing's going to blow up, explode, any of that other good stuff. So here we go. Okay, well, we overloaded everything. We've overloaded the circuit breaker and popped it right there. The table was engaged. So let's see if we can't start this a little bit slower and get a little bit of controlled movement out of it. Okay, no microphone, so probably bad audio, but just going to throw this out there, give you a quick little picture of it. I am super excited. Everything seems to work well. When I first fired it up, it was engaged. I don't know if if I overloaded it right off the bat or whatever, it kicked the circuit breaker. We just reset everything, and everything seems to run fine. So today's been a really, really successful day. The electrolytic derusting process seems to work exceptionally well. I'm really happy. We'll start peeling smaller parts off of this and running through there, and I'll build a bigger tank. I've got something that we'll build a bigger tank out of, I think, as time goes on. And we'll start cleaning this up a little bit more, research it a little bit more. I haven't, we've got lots of oil in the gearbox over there. I haven't checked to see how well it is actually oiling everything. Looks to be fine. You know, I don't see any issues at all, and for the little bit that we've run it, why, we've got lube on it. The ways on it that are underneath the bed look really, really good. There's a few little marks on them, but nothing that I'm going to be concerned about at this point in time. Everything seems to work. Things are a little bit stiff just because it hasn't been run for so long, but everything engages, feels good. I'm really happy with it. So anyway, hopefully you found this a little bit enjoyable, and as always, thanks for taking the time to watch.